Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 455 of the Drunk District Podcast. Most always, I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What is that, buddy?
You know how well your week is going when you have one hell of a dream. And here's something that doesn't usually happen
Is it
with
a sexy
me.
dream?
No. But you want to know that there are some times you have things called lucid dreams, right?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
it's like you are loosely aware that you are dreaming and that there is some form or power you have inside of that dream. So a couple nights ago, I had a dream. I was waiting in line at Disneyland, right? And so the minimum requirement was to have the person give you 10 tickets, right? So the guy in front of me, he paid this this guy in a Mickey Mouse costume, right? He paid him and then he gave him 10 tickets. And so I go for the next in line, and I pay the guy like nearly the same amount, and he looks at me with a frown, right? And he only gives me 8 tickets.
What a bitch.
And the thing was, he gives me 8 tickets, right? And then he turns his back to me and starts walking, and he's like talking to his friend over by a corner, right? And so here I am looking at these 8 tickets. I realize the severity of the situation, and I go running towards him, right? And I drop kick him, and
Yeah, you do.
he goes flying forward, right? And where he's placed is like there's just like this overlook, right? And right in front of him is this beam. So I drop kick him in the ass. He goes flying, and his head conks the damn beam. He goes in a complete like 180, lands completely on the ground, right? And the last image I get before waking up is this dude, his back facing me, and you have these big fucking mouse ears like just back of you. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, you know what? I'm out. And I go and I just start running and stuff like that. And then I wake up. As soon as I wake up, I had to keep myself from laughing my ass off because that image of this dude in the Mickey Mouse costume, freaking like his back facing me and those big fucking ears is like like he's dead.
Yeah. So, fun
Uh,
fact for Gables. Gables has dreams about murdering Mickey Mouse. Did you at least make it with Minnie in the dream?
no, no,
Oh,
no,
see,
no,
that's where I was hoping the story was going.
no, man. I'm not too sure if this is like some sort of it's like thing towards me, or it's like it's some alluding to something else that's deep down inside my subconscious. But I'll tell you what, I felt pretty fucking like amazing after I woke up after that dream.
Yeah, understandable. Understandable. Good way to start the day.
uh, PSA kids, do not insult or assault Disneyland workers.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
But other than that, man, it's been the usual type of slog over at work. A couple people are out on vacation, so I got to go ahead and fill in places and stuff that are most needed, most notably upfront and retail. Which, if you ask anybody how it goes when you work upfront and retail, I mean, it's half and half. Sometimes you get great people, sometimes you'll get complete assholes. I mean, it's just a flip of a coin on some days. But besides that, I bought and I've played a bit of Metroid Dread.
Nice. Good.
I love
Good.
that. So,
Cool.
how have you been this week, Tyler?
Doing okay, Gables. Doing really good right after today, but first week back, long week. After vacation, always sucks, always miserable. But Iowa Hawkeyes, number 3 team in the nation,
You go?
highest ranking they've had in my lifetime. Um, Played the number 4 team, Penn State today,
Oh,
in Kinnick. That's Iowa's home stadium. It's
okay.
the second biggest game of my lifetime for them. The
Yep.
only one, 2015, they were in the Big Ten championship game, undefeated, playing the Michigan State team that was also undefeated. Winner got to go to the playoffs.
Right.
And 40 seconds left. Michigan State scored a touchdown, took a 2-point lead, won the game.
Oh,
Heartbreaking loss, but great season. First time they ever went undefeated in the regular season. It's the greatest season of in Iowa history. Most wins ever for a team, longest winning streak for a team. Um, but it's we Iowa has like beaten more top 10 teams in this century than anybody not named Alabama. But they've
wow.
always been like, it's like playing in Kinnick at night against the Hawkeyes, even when they're like an 8-4, 9-3 team. They're a top 25 team almost every year, pretty much always in like the
That's
top
true.
30. Um, but they're always like that center. Like they always every probably every 2 3 years, a high ranked team will come in Iowa City, play them at night, and they'll beat them, or I will give them the fucking game of a life. They'll like Penn State came here in 2016 or no 2015. No, what? No, not 2015. 2017 came here, um, and had over 500 yards of offense, but scored 13 points, which is incredible.
Wow.
Uh, Iowa has the bend don't break defense, so they give up a lot of yards but not a lot of points. And literally the last play of the game had a score touchdown to beat them. Um, on Extra Life Day 2017, Ohio State was #2 ranked team in the country. Fucking shellacked them 55-24. Um,
Wow.
one of the greatest games of my lifetime. Remember having playing Wolfenstein 2 on Extra Life, playing that on my TV, and then having my monitor off to the side, watching that game in the corner. Um, one of the all time great games. But today came in, started off rough, but Iowa came back with 6 minutes left. They were down 17-3 in the first quarter, and then slowly but surely came back, beat them, scored a touchdown with 6 minutes left, and took the lead and beat them 23-20. It was
There you
the
go.
loudest sustained roar I've ever heard from a crowd. Um, like someone had like a Apple Watch on, and like they had like they took a screenshot of them, a picture of their watch saying the decibels were too loud. It was 171 decibels, which is a
Oh,
lot. Um, and the warning during, and it wasn't even like it was in the second quarter. The Penn State was inside their own 10, so backed up, inside their own 10, and it was so loud, sustained loudness for over 3 minutes that the Penn State had three false starts in a row. Never seen that happen before. They had 9 false starts in that
oh,
game.
oh, man. We've
All
heard NFL stadiums and stuff, how loud some of them can get, like in Seattle or in Kansas City and stuff. To false like a do like a false start. But man, I've never heard in my lifetime a football game where a stadium, a crowd full of people are so loud that far forces three false starts. That's
yeah, it
unheard
was
of,
nuts.
dude.
It was nuts. Like it was after the third one, the offensive line got pissed off at the center, but it really wasn't the center's fault because like Penn State, a lot of college teams they use the clap method where they clap, the quarterback claps, and then they snap the ball. But it was so loud the center couldn't hear the clap. So like one of the five offensive linemen would hear the clap and jump, and but they went. It was nuts. They had not, like I said, 9 false starts in the last 3 quarters of that game, and it was all inside when they were inside their own 20, backed up, and it was just but in the student section it was so fucking loud they couldn't. Yeah, it was incredible. I was, I was emotionally drained after the game, and like as soon as the clock hit triple
Yeah.
zeros, they took the victory formation, and the fans stormed the field. Tears just pouring down. Like we've seen
Nice.
Iowa like have like these moments where like they're doing really good, they're undefeated, like they're actually like people like they're in the top 10, and they have these moments where like multiple times in my lifetime where like they're doing really good, they're 5-0, they're 6-0, and like teams are like, yeah, okay, yeah, like okay, how good are you really, blah blah, and they have these moments and they always come up just short, like losing late in the game, or just losing a close game. And this is the first time that they've actually like been in a moment. It's like the uh, move the brand type game where like I've probably seen 10 of these games in my lifetime where they had a chance to move the brand and take them to the next level, and they've never gotten there. Even like the 12-0 year when they went 12-0, that moving the brand would have got them get in the playoffs, but lost the last minute of the game. Ended up still going to the Rose Bowl, which is great. But anyways, yeah, it was an incredible moment. It's second, like I said, second biggest game of my life as a Hawkeye fan, and it was incredible. Just man, sports are cool, people. It's you could say it's
Yeah, most definitely.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. I was incredibly happy, incredibly. It was great. I had to go after the game was over. I'm like, it was like 7 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm tired. I have nothing left in me. I all I wanted to do was just go lay down, and I ended up having to go to Starbucks and get a small coffee because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to record tonight. Because like I'm
Oh
like, there's no way
God.
in 2 hours we're gonna have to record a podcast because I have nothing left in me. So got a small coffee cup about 2.5 hours ago. So
That was
got a little
almost the
boost
same
in me.
feeling I had like a couple of years back when the Niners won against the Saints in that crazy ass game and stuff like that with
Yeah,
Kittle,
yeah, oh
another
yeah,
Iowa alum.
yeah, oh yeah. Iowa is tight end and defensive back you.
Yep.
It is nuts. Last week against uh, Tua Tagovailoa's little brother, they
Yeah.
picked him off 6 times in the first half or first three
Oh
quarters.
boy.
And he's actually like, like not like a top draft pick for that like in 2 years, but
No.
like he's considered like a fourth or fifth round pick quarterback. Picked him off 6 times. So
Oh,
I
that's
fun
almost
another fun
undrafted.
fact about Iowa. Keep on sorry people with the Iowa stuff. They played 6 games this year. Only one quarterback's finished the starting quarterback has finished the game.
Wow.
4 got benched because they played so bad, and then the other one got hurt.
Wow.
So yeah, and the other guy, I'm assuming they had their backup was way worse than the starter because there was no reason he should have finished the game. But it scared the shit out of me. I just saw like a white thing to the side of me. It's just my dog staring at me. I was like, all the lights are off except for my fucking Govee lights, and I'm like, I just see like a white little blur like next to me. I'm like, oh,
Is that
he's
is
just
that a poltergeist?
yeah. I was like, it is October, so it's that time of year. Um, but anyways, guys, enough for the Iowa pleasantries. I'm just sorry to go on about that. I'm just really excited, really happy about it, and I just had to talk about it. But one thing, I mentioned Extra Life, and another big thing about Iowa, they do the wave at the end of every
Yeah.
first quarter, the best tradition in all of sports. They wave to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital that is right next door, where they built the extension. Oh, I couldn't tell if my dog was growling or it was a motorcycle outside my window. It's a motorcycle.
Huh.
But anyway, sorry. They do the wave at the end of every first quarter to all the kids that get to watch the game from the hospital. And that's the hospital that I support during Extra Life. Gables supports Seattle, and if you don't know
Yep.
what Extra Life is, it is a wonderful charity that we do every year. This is my 11th year. This will be Gables' 10th year,
Yep.
where we play games for 24 straight hours. It's almost always the first Saturday of November. This year it's November 6th. Um, you don't have to do it on game day, but you can do it any day. But anyways, we raise money to play. We play games for 24 straight hours. People donate to us, and we raise money for Children's American Hospitals. If you are interested, go to extra-life.org. In the show notes here, I'll actually post Gables and I's pages if you wanting to donate. And if you don't want to, or if you know somebody that is interested, or you just think it's a really cool thing, please. Not even our page necessarily, but just share the charity. It's a really cool thing. They've raised over $90 million in its lifetime. This will be year 12, I want to say. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a really great thing. We're gonna be doing it. We've already kind of discussing plans for it. It's my Christmas. It's my I always say it is my least favorite day of the year because I look forward to it so much. But the next couple days are just miserable. But it's all for a good cause and it's all worth it because we do some cool stuff for some cool kids and yeah, I'm really pumped. Gables, we are. I can't believe it. It's like it really is like my adult Christmas because it's like I can't believe it feels like it takes forever to get here, but also I can't believe that we're so close
Yeah.
to 3
Really.
weeks away or 4 weeks away. 4 weeks from today.
Yep.
Um,
4 weeks.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think, Gables. Yeah, but like I said, tell somebody about it. You don't even have to. I don't even care if you donate to us or not, but just spread the awareness of it. It's a great thing. Millions of people do it every year. I shouldn't say millions. I'm not sure, but at least hundreds of thousands of people do it every year. And it's really cool, actually. I always look in the. You can actually look in like you can see your ranking for how much money you've earned, and almost every year for the last up until this year, I'm always been like top 5, top 10 in the state. Um, and this year, and like I'm usually my numbers vary, but anyways, there's usually only like less. There's like less than 100 of us in the state of Iowa, or at least that register for Iowa. There might be more, but but anyways, um, this year already, like I checked. This is like in June. I checked. There was already over 100 people. Like, well, I shouldn't say it. So there's a few hundred that register, but usually only like 60 to 70 actually like raise any
Yeah.
money. This year already, I looked. This like just in June we were past that. I looked. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a couple hundred people in Iowa that have already raised some money, and we're nowhere near.
Wow.
Yeah, like so. I mean, the big states are usually like Washington and like Texas. because it originated from Texas.
Yes.
Florida usually like the top ones, obviously more people stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool to see. Like usually like almost every year, Seattle is almost always the number one raised a hospital. So
Yeah,
yeah,
really.
it was kind of a yeah, it was kind of a cool thing to like see a little bit of pride there that I was getting there bigger. And like this is one of the shirts. If you play or if you participate and you raise money, you actually hit. If you make $200, you get a T-shirt. I've got like I think ever 8 of these from that, and I have like 15 of these. I literally I might have like a whole closet. One of my closets is literally just Extra Life shirts at this point, and I'm not even kidding. Then but like they do other things too. Like you get stickers, or at $500 you get a silver medal. At 1,000 you get gold medals. I got 3 gold medals. 2019 I was $20 short of the silver medal. I forgot to turn my
Wow.
phone up. I apologize. That I won't lie. The being $20 short thing to this day still kind of irks me a little bit. I wish it's But anyways, like I said, it's a cool thing. Love it. We're gonna talk about it a lot over the next month or so. We're gonna Gables and I here in a couple weeks are gonna have a solely we're gonna do an extra podcast just talking about Extra Life and
Yep.
tips and tricks on what to do for the day. And we're gonna have like just kind of fun stories of us doing it over the years. And then we're gonna do we always do like our Extra Life hangover where we're gonna on instead of recording on November 6th. Usually we record Saturday nights, and the podcast will go up Sunday. We're actually going to record on Sunday, the night after. So it'll be in the evening, so we'll be recovered enough to be functioning, but probably still exhausted enough that we won't be like, we probably shouldn't be driving a car.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
say that. But yeah, so. Anyways, Gables, let's get into some topics here. It's kind of a, not a lot of big stuff. We're definitely like, it's very rare in gaming that we have like a lot of big stuff and like big news and like games coming out. And it's usually like outside of like Game Awards, we don't really have a lot of news in the fall. So it's usually like a lot of smaller stuff, but we do have kind of one bigger thing here, Gables. We got we had the Nintendo Direct a couple weeks ago. They announced that on October 5th they were going to have the final Smash Direct,
Yep.
and they were going to reveal the final character there. Um, and to I think a lot of people's surprise, Sora was announced. He is coming October 18th, along with a. They also announced 3 the Mii Fighter costumes. 2 of them are like there's like the Inkling little wig thing. There's that little cat guy. I can't remember his name, Dude or something like that, or I can't remember his name. And then Doom Guy is one of the characters as well, and they're like 75 cents a piece. But
It's funny how Sakurai
anyway,
just calls him just Doom Guy.
yeah, I love that.
I heard it
But
runs on almost anything.
yeah, it runs. Ew, I heard it runs in almost every PC. But yeah, the big news out of this was we had the Sora is officially the last character for Smash Ultimate. And along with that, they announced that all the Kingdom Hearts games are coming to Switch through the cloud. So that was kind of another thing that came out of it. But I don't know, give us when you saw all this and heard all this, what was your thoughts on everything?
Shocked and surprised, really. I mean, for one, it's no surprise that for even some of the fan voting stuff, Nintendo officially put up and stuff like that, that Sora was the number one requested character.
Yeah,
I
that was
mean
like 2015.
that was 2015. Yes, it
Yeah,
was that long ago and stuff, and Nintendo had known all throughout that time. Yeah, people wanted to play as Sora from Kingdom Hearts. And one of the reasons why I didn't make it into like the previous Smash Brothers games is because of the legal loopholes and all the other stuff that you have to go through in order to try to get a character like Sora inside of Smash because, well, Kingdom Hearts is Disney. More that licenses up. A lot of that stuff is Disney oriented, especially when you look at that trailer, the reveal trailer, and the first image you see is a Mickey Mouse head, like
yeah.
for
After
Disney
that was
stuff.
actually the head that Gables drop kicked off.
No comment. But anyway, when it came to the ultimate reveal for Sora, yeah, I was surprised because going into it, it's like I had no expectations. I mean, I was seeing little bits of rumors here and there and stuff, like seeing little bits of thumbnails and stuff. Oh, it leaked. Sora is going to be the final character, which, you know what, at this point, I don't really give a rat's ass about whether or not if it's like a rumor or if it's not rumor or something like that. I want to see it actually unveiled for myself.
Yeah.
Because I think even with Nintendo for this past year, especially, that any type of rumors and stuff, you're not going to go forth and trust regardless. But yeah, for Sora's unveil and stuff, that was a fucking fantastic moment. And it's also a fantastic closure. And it was one of the few rare times I've seen in like an entire community of gamers and stuff like that for this game. It's like almost all unanimously. Obviously there were a few people that were griping and bitching and moaning because they'll gripe and bitch and moan regardless. But still, it was mostly positive in regards to the unveiling of Sora and also the unveilings of like the Doom guy and stuff as a Mii character. Of course, people wanted Doom guy as a playable character as well. But the biggest gripes from this whole announcement was that the Kingdom Hearts games were going to be cloud-based games that you're going to be purchasing on the Switch. That's a downer because
Yeah.
quintessentially, it's like they're not that technically demanding of games, especially the first two Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts games.
Kingdom
You could
Hearts 3 should. I understand that. Kingdom Hearts 3, yeah, I get that. Everything else, like, no. Like, it doesn't make. Especially, like, if anything, like, I could see, like, okay, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 or Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Maybe one is on the fucking little cartridge and the other one's downloadable or something like that, but. Or digital only. But, yeah, it's just lazy by Square Enix.
Now, I will say, if you want to see some wholesome reactions to the unveiling of Sora for the final character in Smash, my God, go onto YouTube, go onto other social media platforms, and try to see the reactions.
Mm,
There are some fantastic reactions for people like
yeah.
disbelief, like obviously like overjoyed and stuff. It's something you rarely see in regards to not just gaming reveal trailers, but just for certain things, in general. It just brings into mind that something so almost like so simple or so basic in regards to like say a reveal for something, which will trigger somebody that actually will make them either incredibly happy or incredibly furious in regards to like maybe one quick slap or no, just one quick snap of the fingers, I should say. But I honestly felt that was a fantastic reveal. I thought it was definitely animated well. I thought the whole like the whole thing about going through it's like the whole freaking character moves and stuff for Sora and this and that. That looked fun and stuff. I definitely now after watching that trailer, now that I know the full roster of characters for the last like DLC stuff for Smash Brothers, the last bit of Smash Brothers Ultimate and stuff like that, it's like okay, that's a worthy $25 to spend on
Yeah.
the Fighter Pass too.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, what did you have to think about it, Tyler?
Um, it's interesting because we were talking about last week after the, kind of what we thought or what we were hoping for, after the podcast, and I like jokingly was saying like Kenny Omega the wrestler because I just wanted to see the one winged angel against Sephiroth the other one winged angel, but like it's interesting with this whole thing like I didn't really feel like I had a horse in the race for this thing. Like I definitely wanted a Doom guy, but like I knew that wasn't likely. I didn't really have like
No.
a guy I wanted that was like really like Waluigi. Obviously, that's more of a joke thing, but it'd been awesome if they did it. I mean, fucking Pichu's in the goddamn game. You could put Isabel's in the fucking game. We could put fucking anyways. Um, I just wanted like cool characters that make a lot of people happy, and I think like Sora is probably the best. Like obviously like people are gonna be disappointed. I get that. I understand that. Like there's always characters that you want to be there. If it's Crash or Master Chief or excuse me, whoever. Like, I mean, there's always I understand that, especially as big as this thing has gotten. Like, you have Steve from fucking Minecraft. Like,
Mm-hmm.
anything's impossible at this point. And like you get like getting your hopes up for other characters, but I think this is like the best case scenario for this last character. I think this is like the best character probably to end on. There was definitely like I was just kind of want to read the room on it kind of thing. Like I bought both fight passes day one as soon as I could, just because I want more Smash characters and like because I still love going back playing Smash and shit like that. So I think it's been mostly overall it's been hot and cold. Like Sephiroth was fucking awesome. I thought Min Min was actually really cool. Um, fuck who was like I'm spaced on a couple here. I'm sorry. But you know, there's a few that I've gone back and like brought me back to Smash to play, and like Sora's definitely one where like the last some of these like Hero and a couple others like Steve. I'm not interested. Like I'm interested to see how Steve works, but I'm not like more so. I just want a reason to go back and be excited to play these games and like just new characters. But overall, I just thought this was like a really cool like I said, best case scenario for what this could be. Where like I feel like this, like they said, like they did this survey like 6 years ago, and not only was like Sora like overall, Sora was the overall winner in all three major areas: North
Yep.
America, Europe, and Japan. Like overwhelmingly was like I think it was like 60% of the votes.
Yeah.
Um, was the character people wanted. So I think it's awesome they made it happen. Obviously, it's kind of a bummer. Like obviously they didn't have Disney involved in this. Like you can like tell by like their stage they built. Like they don't have any like Donald and Goofy aren't
They
there.
actually had to go forth and take that stuff out because of
Yeah,
the whole legal nightmare in regard to that shit.
yeah, and I get that. I'm sure that's probably like Disney probably wanted a fuck ton of money to make this happen. So I think if you're really upset about that, I would say like, would you rather have Sora without them or just not have any Sora at all? So like, it's just kind of like count your blessings, on this one. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I think it's incredible. Um, yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I think it's awesome. Like I said, I just keep saying awesome over and over again, but I really do. And I think it's just like I couldn't believe when I was watching this. So I was able to like, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I snuck off at work because it was like 9 o'clock my time when it
Yeah.
happened, and just kind of like I just wanted to at least watch the first few minutes of the live thing. So I at least caught the opening trailer. I thought it was Dark Souls, which I was like, oh
A
fuck,
lot of people thought it was Dark Souls because
yeah,
when that
I didn't.
opening flame dropped down and Mario went to go forth with it, they thought that initially it was like the campfire from Dark Souls.
Yeah. So I didn't know if that was just a me thing because I've never played. I think I know of them, but I never played them. But I've seen a lot of them. Obviously, I'm sure like most people have. But like then I kind of was like going online. A lot of people were like, I even like you. I watched some like live reactions later, and I was like, some people says Dark Souls, like Demon Souls, blah blah. So I thought I'm like, oh okay. So I wasn't the only one. But yeah, I thought that the trailer was top notch. I love even like the character that I wasn't like super excited for, like or were underwhelming. Like the trailers they did, the reveal them were awesome. Um, I thought it was like a perfect swan song for this. But like watching when I went home and watched the whole thing when I got home that night, and just kind of like listen to Sakurai talk, I couldn't believe like it kind of like hit me like emotionally, like oh my god, this is
Yeah.
it. Like he even mentioned like they announced it 3.5 years ago. The game's been out. The 3 anniversary is this December. Like it's crazy to think that like how long this game has been relevant for. Like, we
Yes.
see all these like there's fighting games that have been out longer that still do fight passes, but it's like they don't hit like you know Smash does. Like Smash is like not only is it the like fighting game, I think for the masses, but like when news comes out about it, it's a big fucking deal. Like like obviously I'm not trying to like knock anybody down, but like when the next Street Fighter or Dragon Ball Fighters or Tekken or when they announce characters like the Mortal Kombat or Injustice games, when they announce new things, like there might be some buzz, but a lot of times the buzz is like, Mortal Kombat adds fucking Freddy from A Nightmare on Elm Street or shit like that. Usually it's because like there's buzz because it's like third party stuff, but like this is like I mean I know a lot of it's third party, but this is like third party like movie like mainstream shit. This is like fucking the hero from Dragon Quest is in there, shit like that. It's like it's just crazy how like relevant they kept this game
Yeah, they turned it
for.
into a grand, like almost like a grandiose event, even though it wasn't
Yeah,
like with the bells and whistles of everything. It actually, anytime that Nintendo would reveal another character in Super Smash Brothers, it would be quintessentially the biggest news that would come out during
yeah,
that day. And
yeah,
it remained relevant throughout the entirety of the when the Switch game was eventually released and stuff. It was definitely something when the Wii U title all of a sudden had like the releases, even for like characters say like Cloud Strife and
yeah,
stuff like that. Oh my God. Each and every character reveal was something big or something in regards to fans of a particular communities. And it's one of those few games that this is the and this is one of those few games and stuff where I can say with certainty this is the ultimate collaboration game. This is the
yeah,
ultimate like meeting of the gaming minds. This is gaming history along with gaming's present, just woefully melded into one another and stuff in order to create a fantastic spectacle where it feels like you have the remnants of gaming's past, gaming's present, and also you see little bits of like gaming's like future in regards to what initially could be going into a certain direction. But when it comes to say Super Smash Brothers as a whole, it's like this is not going to be topped. I don't feel like this is going to be topped even in the slightest. In my
No.
honest opinion, I feel like going forward and stuff, if they end Super Smash Bros. A series like this, everybody I feel like will be ultimately satisfied
Yeah.
with
I mean they
what has initially come out.
they won't. I mean it sold like 20 over like 25 million copies. This is
Yeah, yeah,
not
I
they
understand.
have to like it would be the worst. And but yeah, it's like that's been the big question is like how they top it. It's just, like I don't even want to like predict how they because like Nintendo's Nintendo like we can predict it, but we're never gonna guess it. It could be like head scratching or it could be the best thing ever. But yeah, I can't believe it. Like I just can't. I'm just like I said, like I'm not like I grew up like I when like I enjoyed the first two Kingdom Hearts games and I tried to get into the other ones like Chain of Memories shit like that and I was like nah I'm out and like I fell off completely with it and it's like even though like I'm not a big fan like I said like this is like I think best case scenario where it's like the fight like for the most part I think this people are happy with it and like yeah it's like it's like I said like there's always that little bit of disappointment like oh man it'd been awesome if this character was there that character was there but like
Yeah,
89 characters 1100 songs 300 stages like yeah this is the game this is like like this is the Fortnite of fighting games like this is like the biggest thing
this is
maybe
the
it's an insult to
fanfic
call
of
this
video games, pretty much.
yeah
The
fanfic yeah
ultimate fanfic.
yeah we just need like if unless it's like all they can do is like make it like adult rated and it would be fanfic we can like crossbreed characters but
Yeah.
yeah I it's just awesome. I mean, there's nothing else to say besides that. It's been this has been incredible, and it's been an awesome ride. And all I mean, I guess the only other thing I think this would be the perfect way for Sakurai to go out with this franchise. I feel like this was his swan song, and I think the only thing we can say on this one is thank you Sakurai.
Well, no shit. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sakurai, for bringing forth a fantastic game and also for all the various work that you've done throughout the entirety of Smash Brothers' initial development and release in the 64 all the way up till now.
yeah, yeah. For the last 25 years, thank you, or
Yeah, no
longer,
shit.
30 years almost. Yeah. So I mean, anyways, we got to move on here though. Some other stuff here. So the GTA, the trilogy, the definitive edition, has finally been revealed. It's been leaked forever.
Yep.
We talked about it months ago when it's first released, or first leaked, and then it's been leaked multiple times since then. It's been rated in this country, rated in that country, and then Rockstar's launcher of all things, their
Release
store
it.
site leaked it, and then they finally revealed it. I think just yesterday on Friday, and they did like a 26-second little video for it, but no gameplay, so we don't know how we don't know how it's gonna look or anything like that. But they did say it's gonna come out some this year.
Oh.
The original like just a couple weeks ago, I was listening to a podcast and one of the people was talking that they are pretty good at leaks. They were saying that it was supposed to be an October release, but it got pushed back to November. So yeah, so it's coming to everything, including Switch. It's coming to. It's even going to come to iOS and Android in 2022. We have no pricing details or anything like that, so we don't know how much it's going to cost. It's the I guess just say it's the PS2 trilogy, so it's 3, San Andreas, and Vice City.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's a couple things. I wish I found the quote here. There was a quote about how it was going to be because they said like it's going to be like it's going to look more modern. It's going to play better than ever, but it's also going to look and play just like how it did back in the day. So it's a very confusing statement they made. Where they
Huh.
kind of like in like one sentence they here across the board upgrades including graphical improvements and modern gameplay enhancements, um, leaving the classic look and but it also will have the classic look and feel of the originals.
Meaning the cars will drive like ass.
Yeah, so you'll be driving on ice. Yeah, but they also did say that this week, I think on Tuesday, they're pulling all of the wherever you can buy the original games right now. They're pulling those off of the store. So
Really?
this will, yeah. So like, I think they're on PS. You can buy the PS2 version. You can buy them on like PSN, and
Okay.
I don't know if they're on like the Xbox Store or Steam or anything like
So
that,
they're
but they will
just
be.
ultimately just pulling the original versions of the games off the storefronts, pretty much.
Yes, and then this will be the definitive edition. They haven't said how it's gonna be um, like are they coming out separately? Is it one package? They haven't, like I said, they haven't said anything. It's not a remake, but yeah, I don't know. Um,
It would be smart if they released it as a full package. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean that's how the games were sold like for years in the collaboration stuff. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get like anywhere between like $20 to $40 a piece for those damn things. I'm not
I,
sure.
I mean, it's GTA. I mean, they could probably put it out for $50 and it's gonna sell like gangbusters. I mean,
Right.
GTA 5 is the highest selling game of all time. It's still
But yeah.
constantly one of the highest selling games every month. Um, GTA 5 online is bigger. I mean, I think GTA is bigger now than it's ever been, which is crazy to think. When you think about 20 years ago when like GTA 3 and all of them launched. So yeah, I don't know. I think they can do whatever they can do the Nintendo and put it out full price and people will buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. How you feeling on this one?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I kind of suspected that I kind of suspected that this would be an announcement sooner or later. It's one of those worst kept secrets that Rockstar has had. I mean, leaked across multiple boards, rating boards, and stuff, and also on their launcher. It's almost reminiscent to like how we knew about the Castlevania Advance Collection because of all the different board
Yeah.
releases, and it's like, well, once it's in a ratings board and stuff like that, you kind of figure that they're going to be announcing it eventually, and lo and behold, like yesterday or something like that, confirmation of the trilogy, but we don't know when the date is, or we only know that it's going to be look better, hopefully play better, modernize in that sense, and retain some bit of the classic look and feel, which I kind of think would be kind of hilarious if you could just input the same cheat code or something and just lock up your game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I grew up in
Oh,
these. I remember playing these a lot, but it was like because it was exciting to play back in the day because it was like so different from anything else. But
yeah.
like just goofing off. But like I've never beaten a GTA game ever.
Oh,
I mean
oh, okay.
I was kind of just like curious. Like it's kind of like the sort of thing you just kind of read about online, see how people are feeling. Like people are excited about this. So I mean, hey, good for you guys. I'm happy for you guys, but I'm curious like once we see how they like. But it's like excitement right now. But like I'm curious what people like. I've also heard some people are like, fuck this. So I don't know. I think I just want to see what the feedback's going to be when we actually see it and
Yeah.
get the pricing details because I think that's going to be more telling. But I mean, it's going to sell like gangbusters regardless. But I'm just I don't know. I just want
Well,
to
yeah, they're
I want to see.
iconic games.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, they're going to sell well, and I don't know. I'm not expecting like a huge upgrade. Like it's not. I don't like it's they're going to HDify them. It's going to be like when they HD games from like PS2 to PS3 and shit like that. Where it's just like, I mean, it looks shinier, but it's still,
It's still the same games at the core.
yeah, it's the same game, but like it just has like it still looks old, but it's just kind of shinier, you know. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Um, this isn't really news, Gables, but I thought we'd just talk about it. We are in the last quarter of the year, Gables, so I thought it'd be kind
Yep.
of fun here. What's the rest of 2021 game wise looking for you?
All right. So with the purchase of Metroid Dread, I actually only have maybe one or two games I want to try to purchase left that's releasing this year. And ultimately, I know I have a couple of games I need to pick up, which is one, The Maze, because of the whole stuff, the tie and stuff. And the second, oh my God. Oh God, I can see the box art image. I'm trying to remember it
Night Trap.
now. It's Night Trap, yes.
Yeah.
Barring those two games, there's like maybe one or two games I want to purchase for the rest of the year. One of them being Pokemon Shining, like no, Brilliant Diamond. So yeah, Brilliant Diamond. That's next month. But there's going to be one more game. I'm going to have to decide what game it's going to be because November and then even the rest of this month, it's like just crazy in regards to what I could potentially do. I could get Advance Wars if I really wanted to in December. I could. It's just like a wild card game. It's quintessentially that. But Ultimately, yeah. I mean, I pretty much have satisfied what I've come forth to do this year. Where it's like I've played more new games this year than I have like in the past couple of years. That's a fact because of Game Pass and stuff. Trying out
Yeah,
games, say like Rain on Your Parade and like Cyber Shadow, and trying out other types of crazy or weird games in and of itself. I mean, like with Haven as well. I mean, God, there's like all sorts of various games that I have tried out
Dodgeball
thanks to
Academia.
game. Well, yeah, Dodgeball Academia. That is definitely one fantastic game that I would recommend anybody play because it's quintessentially Pokemon and Dodgeball. I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah,
But no, it's actually more like Paper Mario and Dodgeball now I think about it. With some Pokemon references and
yeah,
mechanics.
it's definitely if they had Dodgeball with paper like the Paper Mario Pokemon team got together and made a dodgeball game.
Yeah, and surprisingly it works.
Yeah,
But
very well.
yeah, if not for games like that, it's like if I didn't have Game Pass, I wouldn't even attempt to have played nearly as much because
Yeah.
really I don't have that much money in regards to spend willy nilly. But Tyler, what about you? What do you feel like you're going to be playing for the rest of the year, or maybe getting?
Oh, it's quite a bit. It's
Okay.
quite a bit actually, and I'm agreeing with you. Like dodgeball. Uh, dodgeball is also really fun, but Game Pass has been the MVP of the year for sure. Like I was looking about at the other day. I'm like, there's like I think 8 or 9 games I've beaten this year from Game Pass. I have like a running thing, like a tab here on my phone, where like a notepad where I keep track of like game releases and like keep track of like if I pre-ordered them and like where I have them pre-ordered and blah like stuff like that. And then like kind of like games that like I don't put them like in order, but like
Right.
like Gables, like you put a list down of all the games you beat. Like I have a list here
Yep.
of like games that are like I, that when we do our top 10 list, like just help me that way. I keep an eye, like help remember, like I don't forget anything. Like help me like memorize. Like these are games I enjoyed this year. These are games that like that came out this year that I enjoyed. And, like I'll put these on my like game of the year like potential games, and 6 of them are I have 13 here so far, and 6 of them are Game Pass games. Some of them I would have bought anyways, but because of Game Pass, I didn't have to pay for them, and some of these like I definitely wouldn't even bought for sure if it
Right.
wasn't for them. So, but there's a couple of Game Pass games in here as well. It's actually 4 games in here that are Game Pass. 3 games here that are Game Pass for the rest of the year. So,
Okay.
I did pick up Alan Wake Remastered
Okay. I think you
on
told me that.
Tuesday. Yeah, so I got that. It was only $30. I picked it up. I spoiler alert for later on. I played nothing this week. I just haven't had any time, and then today was busy all morning, and then by the time I had like anytime by the time I sat down, I had like an hour for the Iowa game, and then the Iowa game. Then here I am. So I haven't had time to play any games this week or today. I also picked up Far Cry 6 on
Oh, okay.
Thursday, but I'm gonna hold off on that one. I think I'm gonna try to because I'm really excited to play it actually because things I've been hearing about it are like got me kind of a little more excited than I thought I would be. Um, but I'm gonna try to hold off for a little bit because for Extra Life, I think that'd be a perfect Extra Life game for me. Um, Ubisoft games are great for Extra Life. Um, Also, this is coming on Tuesday. This is coming to Game Pass as well. Back for Blood coming out
Yes.
October 12th. So I'm really pumped for that. And it also has a campaign, so I'm wondering how that works. That has me more excited, but I can't wait to play. At least check that out. Coming out, so October is pretty crazy for me. Then on October 22nd, House of Ashes, which is the third game from it's the anthology series from the Until Dawn people.
Okay.
They have like a eight game deal with Namco Bandai to make like anthology series of those Until Dawn style games, and this is the third one, House of Ashes. It's like $30. I'm happy this time it's actually coming out physically, day and date. Usually they have it only be digital, then later on they would do a physical edition. So now, because like I'm gonna beat it, it's like 4 hours long, usually 4 or 5 hours, and I can just trade it right back in and get some money back for it. Um, Coming out the actually the day before that is a game called Echo Generations coming to Game Pass as well.
Okay.
It was a game I was actually looking forward to, but then they announced it's coming to Game Pass, so that's awesome. It's like a kind of gives me like Costume Quest vibes in a
Huh.
way, which I love Costume Quest back in the day. It's not like a Halloween themed game, but like I just get those vibes from that game. So, like a, it's like a, like it's a turn-based strategy, but it's like live action as well. Where like there's like some like beats to it, shit like that. So kind of like almost kind of like Paper Mario fighting style, where you got like use like rhythm and to the beat to like do
Right.
extra shit. Uh, but also like just the last week of October is nuts. Guardians of the Galaxy coming out October 26th. That's probably my most anticipated game for the rest of the year. Um, I am super pumped for that. Hoping like I've said over and over again, if this game comes out as an 8 out of 10, I'll be fucking pumped. Because I don't think this will be like a 10 out of 10 game, but I'm just hopeful it's a good game. Because I feel like this game could be a 6 or it's going to be like an 8. I feel like there's no maybe it could be worse obviously, but I feel like best case scenario it's an 80 on Metacritic. Worst case scenario it's like it's in the 60s somewhere. But I'm really excited. I think the game could potentially be really good. Another Game Pass game coming November 9th is Forza Horizon 5. Is it 5? Yeah, 5.
I think so.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's coming out November 9th. Great pumped for that. This game, I like the Forza Horizon games. It's definitely, but it's like I'm never like a big enough racing fan like to buy these games. Like I really want to play like Cruise and Blast, but it's like $50, and I'm like, man, I really want to play the game, but I don't want to pay that much for it. Then there's that new Hot Wheels game that's supposed to be really good. That just came out like a couple weeks ago, but that's a full price game as well. I'm like, god damn, like
Hmm.
these games look really cool. I don't want to pay full price for them. But Forza Horizon is like a definitely game I'm gonna like. I don't. It's not. I don't think I'm gonna put like a ton of hours in this, but it's gonna be a
Right.
game for sure. I can't wait to check out. I wish it came out like 3 days earlier so I could play it on Extra Life Day. It'd be fucking fantastic. But yeah, I'm definitely pumped. I'm even buying the extra or not the extra life. I'm buying the Forza Horizon 5 controller because I think it's fucking beautiful. Um,
Yeah, that's a
and
nice
then
controller.
yeah, and like you, Gables, December 3rd, Advance Wars 1 and 2. I loved Advance Wars back in the day on Game Boy Advance and DS. So of course, I mean, I'm a little upset I'm paying full price for it at $60, but whatever. I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this
Well,
game.
think of it this way: you're paying $30 a piece for the games.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. So, good point. Touche.
That would have been the
But
same price as what they were originally.
yeah, true. So I'm pumped for this. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then, like a lot of other people, coming to Game Pass, Halo Infinite on December 8th. Like Gables and I, we are not like huge Halo fans. Gables last year went through and beat all the games last year.
Yeah.
I beat the original 3 like way back then, but like I beat 4 just this year, and then I've started 5. I want to finish 5. I'm just not enjoying that game, but I just want to finish it so I can finish it. I'm like halfway through it. I got like halfway through it in like 2 sittings, like a month or so ago, and I just never went back to it. But I just need to finish it before it comes out because I probably got like 4 hours left in that game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's like it's a pretty crazy like this month is nuts. Next month or in November I have 1 game, the Forza Horizon, and then in early December I have 2 games. So it's like a lot of bunched in right in the next few weeks, and then I'm gonna have a lot of wide open space here and there. I do have Pokemon, one of the Pokemon games pre-ordered at GameStop, but I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. I might just move it to another game. If I don't know, I'm just gonna wait and see how I'm feeling around that time. But yeah, it's 50-50 on whether or not I get it. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to talk about. We are getting in that last chunk of the year. We are getting closer to that time. We got a couple months here, about 2.5 months until we have to do our game of the year list. So
Yep.
um, it is our time where we need to anything on our pile of shame we need to knock out and yeah. So I'm definitely I've got a lot of pretty good games on my list, but we definitely have a lot of pretty good games come out the rest of the year. So that's pretty much it for the bigger topics. Gables, did you watch the Resident Evil trailer
Okay, the Resident Evil trailer.
for the
No.
movie?
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
All right. I meant to show you that for the podcast because I wanted to talk about it on the air, but we can maybe talk about it next week because
Okay.
I can't believe I watched it. Gables, it looks terrible, but
Oh no.
people are like, apparently I'm the crazy one because people seem to like it, and I don't know why. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind on the internet. I'm like, what? I was like, what is happening? Why are people being positive about this? How are people being positive? I don't know. It's blowing my mind. But anyways, Gables, let's get to some smaller news stories here.
Okay.
This is kind of a weird thing here that happened. That a Ghostbusters game is in development by the Friday the 13th team of all people.
Hmm.
uh, which is kind of funny because so the co-founder of the team, oh God, I can't what is the name of that goddamn team? I can't. I'm trying to find it here. Ilphonic Studio.
Right.
Um, he was doing a podcast and he mentioned in the pod he accidentally mentioned that they are working on so they made the Friday 13th and the Predator and Hunting Ground games, both of which
Yeah.
I love Predator a lot. I just didn't have any. I wish I would want to play it more, but I don't even. Gable, did you download it last month for PS Plus?
Yes, I have. So if you want to play it for extra life, I mean, let's try that.
Oh, Suki, yeah, let's do it. I want to try to get a game right. I've been trying to get people to play with me that game for a year and a half. My parents bought it for me for my birthday last year, and I put like 5 or 6 hours to it. I really like that game. It's just a game that you need to play with friends.
Yeah.
I would, yeah. Same with Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, not really a great game, but it's a really fun game.
Yeah, it is
Like
with
it's
friends.
technically not a good game, but it's like just a fun game to play. And we've had multiple really great gamer nights playing that. So they make not like top tier games, but they're fun to play with friends kind of games. Apparently, they're making a Ghostbusters game. They do have a game that's like I think in beta now. They announced it at the PlayStation 5 showcase last month. The Arcade-ageddon game that's in
Oh
early
yeah,
access now. It's coming out in 2022. That game just looked
looks
like
dull.
yeah, just nothing about it looked original or interesting. I feel like the game's gonna come out and die immediately, but apparently that's what they're working on. Um, I don't know. I'm up for whatever they make. I, yeah, like I said, I've enjoyed both of the games they made so far. And I I love. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm all hiccupy over here. I love the Ghostbusters IP. I love. I remember playing the shit out of the original Ghostbusters game on Xbox 360 back in the day. So I'm fully on board for for them making a four versus ghost game with Ghostbusters IP. So what about you, Gables?
Hmm. Actually, that would sound pretty interesting, and I'd like to see their take upon a Ghostbusters game.
Mm-hmm.
They did a fun time. They had a fun time creating the Friday the 13th game. I know that for a fact. But Predator hunting ground and stuff like that—that's something I still need to play a little bit. But yeah, they did do a lot of interesting research upon that game as well. So it's going to be interesting to see not only the concept of the game itself, like how they're going to go forth and use some of these classic characters. Is it going to be the same type of isomet, like the 4v1 versus like thing in and of itself? Because that's kind of like what they're known for now, or if it's going to be just a straight shot like adventure game. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, well, the arcade again is a little different. I think it's like a PvP versus PvP game, so I imagine it'll be in the same vein. But I don't know. I just hope for their sake that like this, like Sony owns the Ghostbusters IP. Hopefully, nobody tries to sue for the rights of the IP because Predator and Friday the 13th they had to like kind of abandon because somebody like took the IP owners to court over the game, like over the not the game, but like the IP. Like
Yeah,
the Friday 13th, they were like still doing updates for, and they were still working on the game, adding content to it, and they had to like out of nowhere just stop development because
the
one
original
of the
creator, I
people,
think.
well, it was like one of the people that helped write the original script, or something like that. Took I think it was like New Line Cinema to court, and I think just last year, earlier this year, like won the court case for the
Wow.
rights to the IP. So they couldn't, they legally were now no longer allowed to like keep working on the game. So like I think they were able to do like they had like two patches they were putting out, but all the content like new maps, new skins, all that they're planning on putting out, they couldn't put out. And then I think the same thing happened to Predator just this year. Um,
Wow.
so I don't think they're like I think they can still do stuff for the game, but like there there's the court case for Predator now I think too. So hopefully Sony's not gonna get sued by like Bill Murray or something. I don't think Bill Murray's a suing type though, but who knows? It's like the like Marvel's being sued right now over IP stuff after um, Stan Lee passed away. Like his family is trying to sue Marvel for the rights to some of their stuff now. So who knows? Next up, Gables here. Ghost Recon Frontline. Um, that is it's like a 50v50 100 person style game where, well, I don't know how it works. There's different game styles. Anyways, Ubisoft announced Ghost Recon Frontline, which is going to be like the free to play um, game that they're doing. That is like there's different game modes with like there's like 50 versus 50. There is like one where there's squad of three, but you also like are they get to like get intel to like solve the do. I don't know. It's just Ubisoft is announcing a free to play game that they're doing right now, basically just trying to get into the world. Like,
Yeah.
like we see a lot of things. Like a lot of free to play shooters are the big thing now. Apex, Fortnite, Warzone. I think this one's interesting because it's like this is Ubisoft's. They just announced X Defiant a couple months ago, which
Yes.
is going to be their free to play arena shooter game. That's 6v6. That's coming out next year. I think early next year. They released Hyperscape, which was their battle royale game that went out in the beta last year, and I think it actually came out. But like, it came out and like within like a month, like Ubisoft like base. I don't know. It feels like the game was just got abandoned almost immediately. Uh, they also have the Division Heartland, which is gonna be a free to play game coming out.
Uh,
Then also they announced earlier this year the Assassin's Creed Infinity or Infinite. I don't know if it's Infinity or Infinite. They announced that they're in development of making that, which we have no idea what that is, but it can also be a free to play thing. So there's now one, two, three, four, five games they've officially announced that they're making. Two are Hyperscape is out. X Defiant I think is in beta. Ghost Recon will be going to beta. Frontline will be coming to beta soon. Early out, I think out sometime next year. And then like I said, Heartland is supposed to come out next year sometime. And then who knows where Assassin's Creed Infinite is, but we're seeing Ubisoft double, quadruple, whatever after quadruple down on these free to play games. I mean, what's your thoughts on all this of like them just going out there and all this?
hmm. Way too many free to play games, that's for a fact. Second thing, if they truly wanted to go forth and have a live service style of game for each and every bit of their franchises that are remotely popular now, it's like, nah, man. I mean that has long since gone in that regards, in my honest opinion. It's like I understand the steps they're trying to make with some of their most popular IPs, with Assassin's Creed, with Ghost Recon and stuff, and like with even for other games that are somewhat similar in regards to their style, or even like in terms of the same formula, like a Watch Dogs or whatever. It's just with this sort of announcement with the Ghost Recon stuff, I just get the same type of feeling like I do now with like say for Call of Duty, say like Warzone, or even like any type of like 50v50, or like any type of like other multiplayer style like military shooter. I really don't care at the
Yeah,
same time. It's like it's a disservice, I feel, Ubisoft transforming their games into like these live service, like free to play sort of things with all these microtransaction things hidden in, because it's like, yeah, they'll go forth and there will be people that'll be going forth playing what they want to play and put money into it, but they're not, in my honest opinion, worthwhile, because, well, they're not worthwhile to me because I'm not going to have too much interest in investing in them. But for a lot of gamers, they're not going to be interested in playing this style of game, only because it's not like a full fledged like Ghost Recon game like they say they want. Like a third person sort of exploration things like a Wildlands, or even to a certain extent, sort of like maybe Breakpoint, maybe not as bad, but I personally don't like the announcement because I feel like Ubisoft is overdoing it with the amount of free to play, like live service, like games in and of itself. And I think people are just going to grow tired because it's going to get to the point where it's going to be the same type of formulas, even for these free to play games. It's like, okay, it's a different name, different skins of characters, but it's the same old shit.
yeah, yeah. I just it might work. I mean, there's this that news story we talked about back in like May, where they announced that they're kind of like really going hard. Like they're not giving up on their AAA games that they're doing, but they're are kind of growing the free to play element. Which I mean, it's a big chunk of the pie. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that just this is what they play. They don't buy games. They like my dad and my sister. All they play is Warzone. And it's like that's and they play it all the time. They every day they play it. That's their thing. They don't play any other games. Well, I should say that they play very few other games, but this is like that's their go-to game. They're PC gamers is what they do. But there's an audience for it, and it's just like we talk about all the time when these games come out. It's just like especially even these smaller games, like we're just talking about like Arcade Again, like that game feels like you look at it. I mean, sometimes it might surprise you. Like even when Fortnite came out, the original game, not the battle royale mode, when that came out, that game died immediately, and then they
Absolutely.
like PUBG was a big thing. So like, oh, we're gonna convert this and make a battle royale thing, and we're all talking about, oh, they're just copying PUBG, and then boom, now it's 6 years now. It's been the 6 7 years now. It's been the biggest, not 7 years, but like probably 5 years or so. Been the
Hmm.
biggest thing in gaming, biggest thing in entertainment over the last 5 years,
Yep.
and they've sustained that success for the most part. Maybe not as big as it was a few years ago, but still, when big events happen, it's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing in entertainment.
Yep.
Um, so there's an audience there, like, and there's like these small pockets. They're small, like in the grand scheme of things, but they're big amount of people that like have these audience. Like Rocket League has a big audience. You know, we were just talking about Smash Brothers, still
Yep.
has a big audience. I know it's not free to play; it's a different thing. But like, there's these smaller games. There's like all these phone games, mobile games that come out that are free, and people like they're just out there that we've never heard of. That are like some of the highest grossing games in video games right now. Bigger than
Oh, and there's even like certain like mobile games and stuff like that that had to do with say things like Bitcoin or something, or like
yeah.
reselling cards. Like I kid you not, I had a conversation with one of the former like healthcare workers that usually comes in and help my dad and stuff like that, right? And he showed me his phone, one of his games and stuff, to where you are a lot. There's this specific game, right, where you get like specific type of like cards from these packs, like you put actual money into it and stuff, and
Huh?
then these certain like cards you can go forth and hold until next season, or you go and like spend money in this and that. But the whole concept is getting these cards right and reselling them for almost twice the initial worth, and that's like with actual money. I'm thinking, and
Mm,
I think thinking to myself, looking at this stuff, it's like, God, that can't be legal.
yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, and that's not even really a game. It's just yeah, um, yeah, it's nuts. I mean, like we see these things. We're like, Dead by Daylight has an audience.
Yep.
Like there's so many of these. Like Brawlhalla has an audience. That's a free play game, but that had an audience before Ubisoft bought it, but now Ubisoft owns it. But so I mean, there's definitely a path to success for these. I wonder if it's just throwing darts and see what sticks. But we've also seen like I Hyperscape's the one thing they put out so far. They put a big push behind that. Oh, excuse me, I'm really burpy today. They did a big push behind that back in last spring or summer. Did a PC beta, and I think they're eventually going to put it on consoles. And never even came to consoles.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, I don't even know if that thing came out 1.0. It felt like it came out and it didn't really take off like they wanted, and they kind of give it up on it. So like right away, like all right, cool. Like, are you like if this thing doesn't become as big as you want it to be, are you gonna bail immediately? Like so right away, you've already kind of given us like bad vibes about like okay, are you gonna dump this as soon as like it's not hot or I don't know. It's just I don't know. I mean, it might work, but it's like also it's kind of like a kind of a bummer. Like Ubisoft there for a while, like in the beginning of last generation to the middle, like really the end of like the 360 PS3 area to like the even like the middle of PS4 Xbox One generation. Like there was a good 5 6 year stretch where they were like revolutionary to the game industry. Where like they made like yeah they didn't create open world games, but like the modern day map game is their thing. And it's just like
Yep.
we've seen that now where like we always talk about the Ubisoft bloat where it's like like for they were like so revolutionary to like gaming, and now it's just like they have like quite like you play them all. Like I'm excited to play Far Cry 6, but it's like I there's the same complaints are there. It's like I don't expect to beat the goddamn game because it's like there's something like you hear about like I was really excited to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla last year, but I heard to beat the game it's like gonna take over 100 hours to like beat the
Yep.
main game.
And there you
Like
go.
I loved Assassin's Creed Odyssey when that came out in 2018, but it's like fuck man, it took me like 40 hours to beat the game, and I was kind of done with the game after 25, and that was just me mainlining the fucking game after about 15 hours. Um, it's like you play Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, Far Cry, you name it. It's like they're different franchise, they're different IPs, but they all have the same feel to them.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like they've kind of hit this copy paste method with their IPs. It's just now it's like they went from being kind of like ahead of everybody in this field to like now they're just kind of like oh well we just know what works and we're gonna keep doing it. And it's like we're gonna try to jump into other fads too. And it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Um,
that, and they kind of more or less stuck. They pretty much stuck with what is safe and that what makes money for them, and that's kind of essentially comfort food to a lot of their fan base.
yeah, I mean, it's like not to say they don't take chances. Like, there was like the Trials games were awesome back. Like,
Right.
Trials was that was during like the days when they were taking chances. Like, Mario plus Rabbids, we're getting a second one of that, but
Yep.
like,
Next year.
Rider Republic is coming out later this month. Like, they're still doing shit. Like Steep, they're still doing shit, but it's just like I don't know. It's just yeah, it's just they're not hitting like they used to. It's kind of a disappointment, but we gotta move on here to some other stuff. Gables, I don't really have too much to say on this one. I don't know if you do because I know you're the one that played it here of us. Animal Crossing is having a direct on October 15th.
Hmm.
So I think next Thursday that'd be or next Friday, 7 o'clock your time Pacific
Yep.
time, 9 o'clock my time Central time. It's gonna be about 20 minutes long. I don't know. I mean, you put hundreds of hours in this game last year. I mean, I don't know where you're at like, as far as the potential of getting back into this, or if there's anything they could do, or like kind of what's I don't know, like what's some. I mean, if there's anything that possible for like you to get back into this game.
Well, honestly, it's going to be something that's probably going to be something simple or mundane or whatever the heck that gets me back into try to playing Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and stuff. But I've heard the hearsay of regards to some of the content that may potentially like get into the new update. The whole thing about Brewster and stuff, and the whole coffee shop aspect in that regards. I mean, that's somewhat interesting, but at the same time, what would get me back into it if it's something that kind of strikes my interest really, and if it's has a lot more customization stuff for houses, most more customization stuff for like creating clothes or whatever the hell, or even like different types of map designs or whatever the hell. I mean, that would be a pretty much a fun thing as well. But more scriptured events and stuff for different holidays, because Nintendo didn't really keep up with a lot of this stuff during its full first year release because of the COVID stuff. But honestly, it's
Yeah,
not going to take much. But if it's something fun and substantial, I may get back to playing some more Animal Crossing New Horizons, maybe by the end of the year. Who knows? But it's not my first priority in regards to gaming stuff right now.
yeah. I'm curious. I've listed a lot of people that played hundreds of hours into this and that still regularly go back and do events and shit like that. It's like
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people are at a very big frustration point, and this is kind of like the shitter got off the pot moment for them is this direct
I
because
know a couple of people that have spent roughly, at least a couple of people that I know in real life and stuff that have played over 500 hours apiece.
yeah, yeah. This is I think a big one for like. I mean, this game's gonna continue to sell. It's in the top 20 every month for
Yep.
um, MPDs, but I feel like for the hardcore like this, like like a lot of people were pissed off last year, like earlier this year with the Easter event when they literally just did the Easter event from the year before. Like they just did the
Yeah, they
exact same
did.
thing over again. So it's like I don't know. I'm curious. I'm just kind of like I'm keeping an eye on it, but it's I'm not an Animal Crossing guy. Um, this one, oh god, we gotta talk about this one, Gables. So Nintendo kind of actually came out and talked about the Joy-Con drift finally,
Yeah.
um, and they said that Joy-Con drift is unavoidable. Um, so here is I can't Euro Consumer is who they talked to, and they asked the question about it, and it was kind of like they were talking about the OLED and all that. So one of the things that okay here, so Toru Yamashita from Nintendo's Technology Development Division explains how the Japanese company has continuously making improvements for the Joy-Con since launch, which the original model and noted that the Joy-Con, the latest version, blah blah. This is his quote here. We mentioned the Joy-Con specifications hadn't changed in the sense that we didn't add new features such as new buttons, but the analog sticks and Joy-Con controllers included with Nintendo Switch OLED are the latest version with the improvements. Needless to say, so are the analog sticks included. Um, Okay, nothing there. All right. Okay, here's the next quote here. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of reading this live. Should have probably
Okay.
checked this. I meant to go back and double check this before I talked about the show. Nintendo didn't specifically state what had been improved with inside the controller. More generally, it focused on enhancing resistance, durability, reliability. The analog sucks here. So he says, this is his quote again. In the analog sticks at first release cleared the Nintendo reliability test using the method of rotating the sticks while continuously applying a load to it. The same criteria with the Wii U gamepad as we've always trying to improve it as well. We investigated the Joy-Con controllers used by the customers and repeatedly improved the wear and resistance and durability. He did say, however, it's unavoidable. And then so here's the guy doing the interview said, "Do you mean that basically wear is unavoidable as long as the parts are physically in contact?" And this is a quote from Nintendo. Yes, for example, car tires wear out as the cars move, as there are constant friction with the ground to rotate. So with that same premise, we asked ourselves how can we improve durability, and not only that, but how can we operability and durability coexist with something we're continuously tackling. He also said that the degree of wear depends on the factors like the combination of materials and forms. So we continue to make improvements by researching which combinations are less likely to wear. We mentioned that the Joy-Con controller specifications hadn't changed in the sense that we didn't add new features. But the analog sticks and the Joy-Cons include are the latest version of the improvements. I'm talking about the OLED edition. Needless to say, sort of the analog sticks included in Nintendo Switch, blah, 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 blah. Basically, I can't, I couldn't read this without like chuckling at this. I just, uh, comparing it to car tires uh, wearing down over time. Yes, I understand that everything wears down over time. Our consoles, our computers, technology, our cars, everything like that. As you add miles to them, yes, they wear down. The problem isn't that it wears down over time. The problem is, like, it's not like if I got new tires in my car and then pulled out of the parking lot and they immediately all four popped. That would be a problem.
Yep.
This is the difference with the Joy-Con drift compared to a car's tires wearing down over time. It's the fact that the Joy-Con drift is a thing that happens pretty much out of the box. This isn't
Yep.
like a thing that happens. Yes, it happens. Obviously, yeah, it could happen after 100 hours of use, after 10 hours of use. The problem is a lot of this shit is like very quickly. This isn't years down the line. We were complaining about Joy-Con drift just like a few months after the fucking thing came out.
Yep.
And like there was talks about it when it first came out, kind of like PS5 and Xbox had that. Like there were some pop-up cases. You haven't heard shit since then.
Nope.
Like, yeah, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have cases of faulty technology. That shit happens. But like the fact that like widespread issues talked about just a couple months after the launch of the console, and here we are. We are 4.5 years into this fucking console, Gables, and the new Joy Cons coming out still are coming out of the box with drift issues. I have 4 pairs of Joy Cons. 4 pairs. 3 of them have Joy-Con drift. I never use these things. I never play in a handheld. The only time I've ever used the Joy-Cons is
Yeah.
when I would play Mario Party. Other than that, like I did it a handful of times playing in the handheld when I first got them. Of the 3 that I have, they have Joy-Con drift. The other pair I have the high roll one they did with Skyward Sword.
Got it.
I've never used them, so I don't know if they have Joy-Con drift. I've never pressed the button with them. So they could have it for all I know. I just don't use it. So I don't know. So like 3 brand new Joy-Cons that I use that I barely ever use had Joy-Con drift almost instantaneously. Probably
Wow.
if not instantaneously. So I don't know. I just that analogy was like dumbfounding when I read it. What about you, Gables?
I'm in agreement. That definitely is dumbfounding. In order not only to compare them with like rotating tires, but like going over the fact, and this is just something that I personally believe is like Nintendo has already known about this well knowing about how faulty a lot of these Joy-Con controllers are in terms of their analog sticks. And not only for the Joy-Con drift, but also how easy it is to repair that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, you have videos of people opening up their Joy-Cons, putting little things of like little, oh God, what are, not just, oh, I'm not going to say cotton, but like little bits like foam or something, little
Yeah,
cubes of foam inside there and fixing their goddamn Joy-Cons and stuff.
yeah.
They
Justin has
had,
fixed multiple Joy Cons that way
yes,
himself
exactly,
at home.
nearly 5 years. During that time, they could have fixed these controllers, given us brand new type of Joy Cons without having to put up the same shit, charge $80 for 2, and then immediately out of the box, not even last a month because of Joy Con drift. That is unexcusable for
Yeah,
them and their whole hardware department in that regards and stuff. And the reason why that they still keep on doing it is because people keep buying them. And
Yeah.
that is mostly the reason why that, because of how successful the Switch is, this is something that's not going to change unless they're forced to change them if, say, they were to lose a class action lawsuit
Which
or
is happening right
something,
now.
which may not be the case or may not happen in that regards. But
Yeah.
I could have understood that point of view from like Nintendo if, for say, these Joy-Con stuff was, you know, actually like not as frequent. But when you have like nearly like 60 or 65% of the people that own Switches and stuff complaining about Joy-Con drift,
Mm.
almost I compare that near like how the Xbox 360 had the red ring of death when it first launched and stuff like that. You know, it's similar to that scope and scale. The only difference is your whole system doesn't shut down. It's just your freaking controllers with that type of regards. But the
Which is
same,
arguably just as not as important, but probably the next most important thing is a
yes,
functioning controller.
absolutely. And that's partially the reason why that I personally have not bought. I've not bought any type of Joy Cons because I know for a fact, not only just watching the YouTube videos of other people, their Joy-Con stuff, but because of how big of an issue it is. Hell, even my original launch like Joy-Cons, I use them maybe for occasion and stuff, but I've had little instances where I feel like that there is starting to become a little bit of Joy-Con drifts, even on my launch models, and I've almost had this thing for like what 4 years or something of that shit.
Mm.
But there's been like two things I've remedied that. One, I have the freaking Hori, like a slide-on controllers. They're not Bluetooth, obviously, but at the least I'm able to play comfortably and not having to worry about Joy-Con drift with those. And two, I just dock it on the TV and just play with my Pro controller. I
Yeah.
mean, hell, that thing is a lot better constructed in regards to that than their actual freaking Joy-Con controllers. So it's
And
like,
it's more and it's cheaper.
it's cheaper in the long run. I mean, hell, I'm paying $60 for a controller and stuff. I shouldn't have to pay $60 for a Pro controller if those fucking Joy Cons were actually worthwhile in order to
Mm.
keep on the things. It's like I don't even bother using the damn slide-on stuff for the controller. That little miniature thing that they
Oh
say
yeah.
you can slide those Joy Cons and stuff inside to try to play it that way. Huh, no. I've not once touched that because I know for a fact as soon as I bought that console, I was getting a Pro controller because I knew that those damn controllers were not going to last me a hell of a long time.
Yeah. It's just dumbfounding. It's just like
Yes.
multiple people have come out and talked about like, tech people have talked about like the issue with this is like the main problem is they use a cheap piece of material for
Yep.
that. And like you said, like unless they lose this lawsuit, which Nintendo they have their lawyers are fucking kingpins. This shit like if you they don't lose. Um, so yeah, I mean there's no reason for them to change, and we keep buying them. Like I said, I have four of them. So I'm definitely well. Obviously, one came with the console, but the other one came with two. The other one came with Mario Party when I bought that,
Right.
and I'm an idiot. And I bought the Hyrule ones, and I bought the um, blue and red one. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just dumbfounding when I read
Yes.
that. Oh, what did I click on? I clicked on something. Oh boy. Okay. Sorry. One last topic here though, Gables. Um, bear with me on this. I'm loading up the thing right now. I got that ready. So this is kind of a weird one here. I don't really. I was like debating putting this in like the main topic thing, but I just don't know if there's enough here to like have it like make it a whole thing yet. This is like a keep on the back burner topic here.
Okay.
So apparently, PlayStation might be announcing a big remake this Christmas,
Yep.
according to a musician. So, folk singer, oh boy, Epa McMahon. Eh, This is like the little thing above the name, and I don't know
Screenshot
how.
it or like screen
Oh,
share it. I'll see what I can do.
okay. Gables, it's not a Pokemon. I don't know if you can help me with this one. Give me a second here so I can screen share. Um,
uh, oh boy.
okay. Let me know. Sorry for the people listening or watching, but I'm screen sharing this so Gables can see it.
Now's that
Can you?
time of the week, boys and girls, where we get to go forth and try to pronounce names in different languages.
All right, Gables, can you see it?
I want to say Ebna McMahon
Where are you seeing it in?
or Ebha. Yeah, Ebha
Eh,
or McMahon. That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that.
EAB Eb, and then HA Ha. So like
It's that
Eb.
little
Yeah.
asterisk thing or whatever. I don't know what's called above the E. It's throwing me off. All right. Anyways, well, her God, I wish I would have finished the sentence. Who performs as Ava? Wow, could have just done that.
Yeah,
Could have
yeah,
just
no
done
shit.
that. Would have made it a lot fucking easier for me. Shoot, Jesus Christ. Wow. Um, so she announced that, or she was on a Irish radio station doing an interview, and she said, I recently wrote a song for a PlayStation game with Michael McGlynn. I can say that one.
Okay.
That actually happened about a year and a half ago, and it was just as the pandemic hit. Michael got in touch with and just said, "Listen, we're writing music for a remake of a PlayStation game, and he does that a lot. He's done a lot of writing for different games that are very well known, but I'm actually not a gamer
Right.
myself." Um, so he said, "Look, it's an Irish language piece that they're looking for. So really, what I was involved with was the lyric writing in the Irish language, and his daughter sang on the track, and his wife arranged part of the choral parts, and so did Michael. He also worked with me on the language side of things, so it was a almost like a family effort. For ages, I wasn't allowed to really, you don't know what you're writing for. It's kind of a disclose because they don't want it to get out. This is all a quote from her, by the way. So if
Yeah.
it sounds like it's weird, it's because I'm reading her actual quote. It's actually going to be announced at Christmas. The name of the game, I have heard of it now, and I have been told, um, had it confirmed as a big game, which is great. And so it's going to be an Irish language piece in the game. Um, so this is from VGC, who originally VideoGameChronicles.com that did the article. It's possible that it's a Xenogear game, which Square Enix originally made for a PlayStation, but a PlayStation owns the IP. Um, the composer of this, I guess, actually, he tweeted with his daughter preparing to perform a music remotely, um, and I'm trying to find something here. So I think like he actually helped make. He was one of the composers of the original Xenogear games. That's why people think that, and also
Hmm.
him tweeting about doing a live performance. It's also possible. However, McGlynn has involved in numerous projects, and that his tweet is unrelated to the PlayStation remake. Um, PlayStation has no events planned for Christmas at the time of writing. Uh, kind of originally, I think like a lot of people were assuming that Game Awards is December 9th, so that's possible. Um, trying to figure out. He also he did some stuff with Diablo 3. He did some for the short. He did the short film they did for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. He did music for that. Um, so yeah, I mean, okay, it's password. Okay, so I'm just trying to read here. I thought there was some other stuff he worked on. I was trying to see if that gave me some
Hmm.
other ideas, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is kind of a weird one because there's not really a lot to go on here. But I mean, I think this is like I said, this is one of those ones you got to keep kind of put in the back of your head, kind of thing. Where when the Game Awards come around and PlayStation announces some big remake, um, maybe they're. I mean, but who knows what big means to her
Hmm.
and what it means to us could be totally different thing. I mean, fucking PlayStation's the same people that remade fucking Medieval. So who knows? I don't know. Yeah. And who knows? Like Irish language songs. Xenogears is a mech game, so I don't know if it's gonna fucking work. But I don't know. Give us like maybe it's a near game. I don't know. They do some weird shit with languages. Um,
Tyler,
that's not a remake.
what is kind of interesting is you hadn't thought about the guess in regards to a game that you're familiar with.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't do this to me,
The
please.
ending theme of a certain game that you've played a lot of. And you know exactly what I'm telling you too. Because that's a possibility as well. I'm just saying.
Just say it. Just say it.
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh.
Because that ending theme is sort of like an Icelandic like type of ending as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see why some people would say Xenogears. I know it's a Square Enix sort of like game, but at that same point, it's like, yeah, the creator of the musician stuff has worked on like say Xenoblade Chronicles and stuff like that, and that
Well, I
series.
mean, and PlayStation owns the rights, so
Yeah,
Square doesn't technically have to work on this. PlayStation owns the right to it, so they can
right.
hire someone to make this game. But
Yeah, that'd be kind of an interesting foray with that because that's a unique
and
game. I actually
that's not
own.
really a big game. I don't. I
No,
think there'd
it's
be a
a
pocket
niche
of
game. I wouldn't
yeah,
consider them to say a big game. That's what kind of threw
but
me off because when I think of Xenogears, yes, that was a great game back then on the PlayStation 1. It definitely could have been a masterpiece sort of a game if it wasn't just like the first part of the game is like story and this and all this in the second half is mostly cutscenes. But
and I think the last game I was reading about it, like the last game, they didn't actually get a chance to finish.
no,
So,
no, they never
so
got a chance to finish the entirety of Xenogears like the way they wanted to be originally. I mean,
yeah,
if you're saying big name games and stuff, there's like two games that have been rumored this past year that could potentially be. One is Metal Gear Solid, the other Silent Hill.
yeah. I'm like I said though, like she's not like she said, she's not a gamer.
Right.
So big to her could be a different thing.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, like if this was something that was like in the gaming, I said this, like I would like, and they said it'd be a big game, like I would take that a little, I would take a little more little credibility that Metal Gear's a thing. Um, I'm not getting my hopes on that until it actually happens, kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. That's why it's like it's kind of hard because like I feel like this could be anything. I mean, this like I said, PlayStation's the same studio. This is PlayStation when they did this is a different studio now or company now than what it was then. But this is the same people that fucking remade Medieval. So who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's cool, exciting, kind of gives us hope for it, but it's also a thing we could take with a grain of salt because
Yep.
I mean, we also heard the same thing. I mean, earlier this year we were talking about the composer for the Medium, um, who's been rumored to be working on a Silent Hill game.
Yep.
Composer of that game, who was the original composer for the original Silent Hill game, said in an interview that the next big game he's working on is getting announced this summer, and it's the one you've all been waiting for, which basically meant Silent Hill, and
We never heard
it's
anything about it.
October now. I mean, obviously Konami was supposed to be at E3 and got canceled. It. Now
Yep.
we have the rumors about Konami's back in the gaming business. So, um, who knows? I mean,
And now we're hearing rumors of December of a big PlayStation exclusive being
yeah,
announced.
yeah. So I mean, who knows? It could be Silent Hill. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this one's just there's not a lot there to it to like kind of without going into conspiracy theory, which I know is part of the game, but
Yep.
there's just usually there's more to go on before I want to like go deep crazy on the shit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I
No
won't lie,
doubt.
Gables. When I heard this, like Metal Gear popped in my head. I mean
Yep.
anything. I mean anything will remind me of Metal Gear. I mean I guess every time I get a text message, it's literally the fucking codec alert. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it though for gaming. News this week. Wow, actually a decent amount though. All said and done. But like I said, Gables, I had played nothing this week outside of a game of Madden. I'm gonna try to play some Alan Wake. Then Back for Blood this week. I think are kind of my main two things I want to focus on, gaming wise for next week. But Gables, what have you been playing?
All right, so it's been mostly two games this week. I decided to go back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy: The Duelist because I wanted to try to get reacquainted with playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game. Been interested in seeing certain like historical things in regards to the card game in general, and also I wanted to try to go forth and replay the original like a campaign for
Hmm,
that portion for Legacy of the Duelist, and so I did that this past week to where
nice.
I went through the entirety. I used the story decks first and
Oh,
foremost
okay.
because I did that, and then all of a sudden we do the rematches and stuff when you like switch
Reverse.
the reverse and stuff like that. I use my own custom deck that I just want to go through and try out. And so the thing about it was it went good for the most part until like the final couple of battles because you get to face. There's this one a duelist like a Shizu or something like that where it took me like so many times like to like beat this person because you had to. It literally took me like about a good solid. Oh God! Every time, every duel or something, we would go forth and play. It'd be like 40 or 50 turns because it'd be the same old type of stall. And there's this one trap card that she uses. It's Exchange of Spirits, and Exchange of Spirits is a distinct trap card, right? To where you both of you and your opponent have to have 15 cards in their graveyard in order for you to activate the card. And basically, what it does, it swaps the deck with the graveyard. So
Oh,
if you have been basically using most of say a one particular type of card like say a spell card or something like that, and that gets activated, all of your monsters are dead, pretty much in the graveyard, along with your traps or whatever type of strategy that you had, unless you instinctively recognize, oh hey, let's go ahead and have specific monsters like in between like the deck and the graveyard and see how that works. Which that's something I pretty much had to do with the story deck, because yeah, playing as Kaiba against Ishizu and stuff, and then having nothing but tribute monsters in your hand, yeah, that was definitely frustrating. Nothing like having a bunch of level 6 to level 8 monsters inside of your hand where the only thing you can go forth in summoning them is one, using a card that allows you to special summon like one of them from your hand, or for some odd reason, maybe discard one of them to the graveyard, use Monster Reborn, every couple of turns. But oh yeah, that was a little bit frustrating. That battle, the final battle with like Yami Yugi was not too bad though, but it was kind of the same concept to where I lost a couple of the battles and stuff, and I had to use little Yugi's like sort of like deck to where he has Silent Swordsman and he has these like Silent Swordsman level 3, I think it was, and then all of a sudden it's like Silent Magician level 4 or whatsoever, and you had to try to go. And it's quintessentially a level up deck, right? To where you use these two specific type of monsters. One's a warrior, one's a spellcaster. But if you use level up, they'll go up to, you can actually switch them and upgrade them for more powerful versions of themselves. So, for example, for the Silent Swordsman line, it's like you go from 3 to 5 to 7, and for the Silent Magician, it's like pretty much from 4 to 8. So those type of monsters, that type of theme deck against, like, say, what Yami Yugi has in terms of, God, having all sorts of various, like, crazy stuff from his Marshmallow, this, like, good stall stuff to, like, all these powerful monsters they can go through and summon almost almost like on a whim and stuff. Yeah, it was just fun trying to play through the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Like campaign from that game. And I finished up the reversal duel stuff because what I wanted to do with the deck is try to make things summonable. Like, I wanted to make this deck as fast as possible, right? And so the whole structure along it was to try to get things to quintessentially mill out the deck to an extent to where I could get what I want, use whatever powerful cards I want. And quintessentially, I wanted to use it sort of similar to how I used to play back in high school with the specific cards that I would use. Because these powerful cards I have in my deck, it's something you can't even play in legal tournaments any longer, or haven't been able to for years. So, say similar cards like Pot of Greed that allows you to draw 2 cards, right? That's considered to be so overpowerful of a card and stuff like that that it's banned traditionally, but a card, say like a Pot of Duality or something, isn't, to where you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you get to choose one and then shuffle the other 2 inside of your deck or some shit. So implementing kind of strategies like that, plus some monster spell trap removal, like, yeah, it's basically trying to restructure decks how I used to remember how I play them. But yeah, that was a fun little revisit in terms of what I wanted to play for Yu-Gi-Oh! But the new game that I have bought and I have played some bit of last night was Metroid Dread.
Nice.
Now, going into this, Metroid Dread was definitely one of my most anticipated games. So far from playing it, I have enjoyed what I've played so far. It hasn't been too much, but at the same time, I basically through the tutorial section of it, I have gotten through my first Emmy, which isn't too
Gables
bad,
won an Emmy. Good for you.
But yeah, the introduction of like using that like particular like power weapon in terms of like this Omega sort of like weapon to where you can just destroy them in like in one shot by holding down specific combination of buttons and stuff. That was pretty fun. And I'll tell you what, the most fun part I've had so far is like every time you go into a new area or a new room or something, you can actually feel sort of like almost a sense of tense moments or some, or like you feel tense going inside each move because don't you don't know when these robots are going to go forth and pop out. It's not like random either. It's not like a random thing like an Alien Isolation sort of shit. No, there are specific areas to where these robots will go through and like chase you around or whatsoever. I've died a few times because I wasn't fast enough to go through the freaking doors in time in order to stop from being killed by one of those things. But as soon as you enter a room with one of these Emmy robots and stuff like that going around, they'll take a specific path and stuff, and you could be like in an entirely different room, like a different portion of that same map, but they'll go through and they'll find you. They'll go through and like navigate, and you'll see that red dot in the map in the top right hand corner, and you have to book it out of there because if you're not evading them quick enough and stuff, they'll catch up to you really quick and just do whatever. But I haven't faced any bosses yet, but I have gotten the charge shot. I have gone through and explored a couple of different things. I've gotten a couple of not missile tank power ups and energy tank, and yeah, it feels like like old school Metroid, and I love that. But music's pretty fun. The game looks pretty good. It runs pretty well. But other than that, though, it's like I still need to play a bit more of this game. It's definitely left a great first impression so far, and I can't wait to share more when I play more of this game. Huh.
Good. That's awesome, man. Glad you're enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Our reviews have been pretty positive about it, which is awesome to hear. Yeah, I think that might wrap it up for us this week, guys. Um, appreciate you guys for listening to us. If you like this, you like the show, please go to our YouTube channel, Drunk Dash Nerds, or any of our podcast feeds. We're on everything: Spotify, Google, Apple, Anchor, anywhere pods are cast. We're on them for the most part. Just please like, 5 stars, subscribe, ring the bells, comments, shares. Shares the big things. The more of you guys watching, liking, and commenting and reviewing, the better it really helps us with the algorithms to be seen by other people. So could not appreciate it more if you did that for us. Something I've been doing started last week. I'm going to try to continue on for now on. Remember, if I can remember, is I put links to pretty much everything of ours in the show notes. So if you're when you're listening to this, if you just click on the description, not only I'm trying to do a good job of like as I'm recording and doing the show and stuff, I am trying to put time codes in for everybody. I'm also trying to remember to put at the end of every podcast the links to all of our stuff, Twitter accounts, Facebook pages, YouTube, everything, extra life pages, all that stuff's in there. If you scroll away to the bottom, you'll find them. So we really would appreciate it. Just take a couple minutes out of your day to go to those places. Like, subscribe, follow, 5 stars, whatever you can do. Like I said, I really would appreciate it. But anyways, guys, I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. Until next time, play some fun games for Christ's sake.
Hey, Gables.
Yes.
Thank you, Sakurai.
Thank you, Sakurai.
Bye, guys.
See ya.